And we're back. Welcome back to the Auto Authorities Podcast. My name is Jay, and this is Gerald coming to you live. Today, we are talking about the used car price plunge, and we're going to really focus on these EVs and really the effect that they're going to have for owners in the future. Are you ready to do this, Gerald?
Sure.
Have you ever felt like you were taken for a ride while buying, selling, or repairing your car? Well, not anymore. I'm Jay, and this is the podcast to tell you what to watch out for, whether you are buying, selling, or repairing your car. With over 26 years of automotive experience, we are the Auto Authorities. This podcast is sponsored by iAutoAgent.com. We're real estate agents for cars.
Yeah, welcome back to the Auto Authorities Podcast. I am Jay. This is Gerald. We're coming to you live. What are we talking about today? We're talking about EV used car price plunge. What does that mean for an owner of an EV right now and in the future? But before we get going, I would really like to thank our sponsors, iAutoAgent.com. At iAutoAgent, they have two different divisions. They have an individual division where they act as real estate agents for cars, where they'll help you market, list, and show your vehicle at no cost to you instead of having to go to the dealer and instead of having to meet strange people in strange places and selling it yourself. And they will also help you find that perfect vehicle nationwide. They will find the vehicle, they will deal with the dealership, they will make sure you have the best price, and they will tee it up so you only go to the dealership when you approve the deal. And the second division is a fleet management division called our Done For You Fleet Management Program. Act as a strategic partner with business owners with fleets of vehicles, helping the business owner find those really hard to find fleet vehicles, to help them sell those vehicles for maximum profit and handle those tedious maintenance tasks such as oil changes and tire rotations and all the things that are costing the business money. We allow the business owner to focus on running their business. And then we have Wrestling with Sales. Gerald, do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we've had a great run here, talking with a lot of the stars from the National Wrestling Alliance, coming soon to a national television network near you. We've had on Trevor Murdoch, Kratos, Ruthie J, and the guys from Magic Inc. Plus, we're getting into talking with some of the wrestlers from Central States Wrestling right here in Kansas City, and quite a few of their partner promotions. Glory Pro from St. Louis are going to be sponsoring their card coming up here, probably as you're watching this, Saturday, November 18th, Bad Moon Rising. I'm actually sponsoring the Little Blue Dragon, Tootie Lynn. She's a black belt, and hopefully the nunchucks don't get involved in the match, but just getting a chance to get a little local entertainment, some local sports going on, and you'll even be able to get a championship belt there. Have a nice little Christmas present, something unique. But it's just a good opportunity to talk about dedication, talk about success, talk about what it takes to succeed just through a slightly different lens, because all the sales podcasts tend to bleed into each other. It's nice to have a little bit of a different look at the same result. What does it take to achieve? And in their case, what does it take to get the win?
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Gerald. Well, also, we wanted to let you know, if you are just joining us, there are several different ways that you can either watch or listen to the Auto Authorities. The first way is you can go live on Tuesdays at 12 p.m. Central Time. The Auto Authorities Facebook group page, just click join group. You can go to LinkedIn and you can literally watch us live. If you can't watch us live, then you go to the Auto Authorities YouTube page, and all of our podcasts are there. It's worldwide. We are getting a ton of views, and you can literally go to the Auto Authorities, just click the subscribe button in the right-hand corner, notification button, and leave us comments. We will personally respond to any comments or questions that you have. And then finally, if you just want to listen to us on your way to work, you can simply go to the AutoAuthorities.com. That's the AutoAuthorities.com. You can watch us or listen to us on 19 different channels, such as iTunes, Pandora, Google Podcasts. There's so many of them. You can even leave us comments and questions there as well. We will respond to you. And man almighty, do we have a show for you today, because we are going to bring something to your attention that you may not be thinking about right now. And that is the EV market is flooded. And now coming down the pike, we have seen 50, 60, 70, $100,000 EVs. We're going to be seeing sub 30,000 EVs. Gerald, what do you think about that?
Well, you know what? It's not exactly shocking. And if you follow any kind of technological innovations, it's not a surprise at all. You could have predicted it. There's a
And
reason why there's a whole field of economic study talking about early adopters, product advocates, true believers, and then when you move into the mainstream, the prices drop. I remember I had a VHS tape recorder, and this is awesome because I can record baseball games on it. I could watch the Cleveland Indians then, now the Guardians, watch their games after I got home from practice. It was amazing. And I believe at the time when I bought it, that VHS recorder cost like $500 and it would only record up to 2 hours.
it was even more.
Yeah, so I would program it to start in like the third inning and hope I got most of the game. But now, if you want to buy a tape recorder, you can still buy them. They sell them at Best Buy. They're like $29. Um, the TV I have right behind me, the monitor I have for using on the sports show, on Wrestling with Sales and on the Fired Up Network, I was selling them when I was in grad school to use in surgical procedures so they could show the arthroscope on the screen. And I was amazed that you could stand on the side of the screen and see it clearly. It was smaller than the one behind me, made by Mitsubishi Diamond Vision, and it cost $24,000.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the monitor behind me is over twice the size, over twice the clarity, and it costs $400. Technology comes out, and as it disseminates, the price drops. So
Yep.
anyone that is shocked by EV prices dropping is choosing to ignore history. They
And
just are.
And here's what the ripple effect is about this as well. So think about it this way. Let's look at this scenario. My neighbor just buys a Model Y, $60,000, let's just say, right around there, and he's excited about it, and he gets to drive an EV, and then let's just say 3 years later. Let's just use 3 years, may even be less than that. 2 years later. 2 years later comes out, Chevy has a new EV, and now it is $25,000. So he's getting ready to sell this Model Y that he spent $60,000. After 2 years, he took a 6-year loan out.
Mm-hmm.
He probably still owes, let's just say, what, $40,000? Is
Sure.
that okay? What do you think his SUV is really worth? Is it worth 40,000? Is somebody going to really pay for a 2-year-old vehicle? Let's say he puts an average of 15,000 miles a year, 30,000 miles, almost out of warranty. Or would you like to have this brand new one for 25 grand? Because your payment on $40,000, depending on where rates are going to be $850, $900 a month. Or you can have a $25,000 vehicle for $500 to $550 a month. Which one are you going to pick? And I'm going to tell you this. I really see a huge problem here of all these people that are like on this Tesla craze right now.
Yeah.
Just wait, folks. It's coming. Mark my words. This is recorded. It's going to be a problem.
Oh, absolutely. And it's a structural problem that they've chosen to ignore because Tesla doesn't have dealerships. They have showrooms. And they don't do trade-ins, nor do they sell used cars. So The normal lifeblood that keeps dealerships going, the circle of life. You sell the new car, and ideally at lots of dealerships, you sell the new car to get the trade-in. You take the trade-in and run it through service, so you make money in service. Then you turn around and sell the used cars. And in most cases, the last 4 years being an exception, the dealerships made more money selling the used cars than they did the new cars. Tesla, by choice, has chosen to ignore the service part, the retailing of the used car part, and the trade-in part as opportunities to make money at their showrooms, their dealerships, their company. The person who loses on that is their customer, because now that the early adopter phase of the EVs, I think we can say, is officially over, how do those people who bought those Teslas get out of them? They don't, because Tesla's not there willing to help. Tesla's there willing to help as much as the former workers of Twitter are there willing to help you if something goes wrong with your Twitter account now.
Exactly.
They're not there.
Right. And here's what's going to happen too. Tesla, with our good old friend Elon Musk, he is recognizing everything, and he already has done this. He dropped his price 20% on some of his vehicles. Now, what Gerald said is completely true, because now Tesla will start dropping their prices on vehicles. And as they drop the prices to give you a better vehicle, longer battery, more technology at a lower price, these people with these old Teslas are going to be stuck. And it's going to be very interesting. It's kind of like a cell phone, isn't it? Because the cell phone, what do people do with their old cell phones?
Donate
They chuck them, or they give them back for a trade-in at next to nothing. This is a big problem.
Yeah, how much is your BlackBerry worth now? Don't you think? And it's coming real soon. Toyota took a lot of heat when they released their first EV, the BZ4X, that it was substandard, it was below market quality, and it didn't hit the number. It only got like 225 miles of range. There were some recalls on it, didn't really jump out of the box. Well, Toyota has a new executive in charge of their EVs. Didn't take long. And they came out, and this is, you can look it up. They are going to have solid state battery EVs coming out for the 2026 model year. So that means mid 2025, these are going to hit. The batteries are going to weigh a third of what the current batteries weigh. They're going to get 3 times the range. So 650-mile range. They're cheaper, stronger, faster, tremendously lighter. Now that changes the whole metric of the car, because now the car is cheaper to make, it's lighter to make, it's going to be easier to transport, the brakes are going to last longer, the tires are going to last longer. A lot of the criticisms of the current EVs will be gone. How worthless, how much value will be dropped with these super expensive EVs, not just Tesla, Rivian, I mean, everybody. When they hit the Hummer from GM, what's that going to do to the value? Because that's a game changer. You get 650 miles of range for less price, less weight, more storage area. Most people drive about 15,000 miles a year. That means you're only going to have to charge it twice a month. And oh, the other thing that happens too, charging time goes down to about 25 minutes. It's coming. And it's not like they're not selling, because Tesla outsold Toyota in California for the third quarter. They're moving them. And take a look at this. This is the EV share of vehicles in California. 21.5% of the vehicles sold in California were EVs. Where California goes, the nation goes. So it's coming, and it'll accelerate.
Absolutely. And it brings me to a story, because we all like story time. So back in 2015, when I started iAuto Agent, one of our clients came to us with a 2014 Tesla, and we were all excited about it. It was like literally one of the very first Teslas. It wasn't the first Tesla, but it was in the new model, and they had a lot more, bells and whistles to it. But there was one bell and whistle that it was missing. And you know what it was? Take a guess.
Charger.
Autopilot.
Oh, okay.
And we listed that vehicle thinking, man, we got a really, really good deal on it. And I mean, our phones were lighting up and they're like, yeah, we're interested. We're ready to buy it. I just want to confirm it has autopilot. Sorry, didn't have it. Every single person asked that question. And you know what? Nobody freaking bought that Tesla. Not one person. And I will say this, and you've said it, Gerald. They got the goods coming. It's going to be a lot less expensive, and you just watch what's going to happen too, because we're going to have a flood. We already do have a flood of EVs out there right now, and some are going to be winners, and some are going to be losers, and somehow they have to get rid of them. So another prediction I like to make: watch the government step in and watch them not force us to buy EVs, but you watch the incentives, and they got something coming in January, don't they?
Yeah, we talked with Bob Kluge from Enterprise Accounting,
Yep.
and he talked about the $7,500 EV incentive that was part of the Inflation Reduction Act. Well, the problem with the $7,500 incentive, he referred to it as a Goldilocks incentive because it had to be just right for anybody to get it. You had to be an individual making about $200,000, better not have any kids because you wouldn't be able to get the tax deduction. And you better not own your own business because, again, you wouldn't be able to get the tax deduction. And then if everything was just right and you bought an EV, you could get a $7,500 reduction in the taxes that you owe to the federal government. If you were getting a refund back, you got nothing. If you had a couple of kids and you only owed the government $3,000, hey, congratulations, your $7,500 credit, it's $3,000. Now, because virtually nobody used it and it became a point of contention for the dealerships, it's going to be assignable to the dealerships as a actual rebate of $7,500. That starts January 1st. And that's going to go in conjunction with, here's a good looking car. And they actually do exist. You can see them outside of captivity, not just in the Barbie movie. That's the only time I've ever seen one. That is an EV Equinox 1LT, nicely equipped car. It's going to be $34,900. Take $7,500 off of that. That Equinox EV is going to be less than the average used car in America is right now. The average used car in America is $27,900. You're going to be able to use that tax credit, get an Equinox EV, and be less than the average used car in America. I think those will sell okay.
And might I add to that, what I don't think what people realize either, there are so many less parts on an EV car, so it's going to be less maintenance for you. It's going to be a lower, like, as soon as these things become mainstream, I'll become more of a believer in it. Obviously in California, 21% of the cars, whatever, are EVs.
Yeah.
Not quite in St. Louis yet, and there's not enough stations out there. And it'll be very interesting to see the infrastructure and how that builds, and maybe how Tesla even comes on with some of their charging stations where the manufacturers start partnering up with them because they need those darn charging stations. That's the thing.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming. Do you go to Quick Trips?
Every now and then.
Quick Trips, a well-run company, right?
Yeah.
They're always immaculately clean. Everybody's nice. They pay well.
Yeah.
They don't miss trends. When you start seeing charging stations going in on Quick Trips, that's when you know, hey, here it comes. Because they're not going to lose their market.
Well, those are good points. Do you have anything else to add as final thoughts, Gerald?
Yeah, just one thing.
Okay.
Let's play a little remember this person. Do you recognize this guy? He's a well-dressed, dapper gentleman.
I just recognize him because you told me who he was. I didn't know.
Carlos Schoen, the Jackal, the former CEO of Nissan and Renault, currently residing in self-imposed exile in a pink-walled mansion in Beirut, Lebanon. And you may wonder, how did the former CEO of Nissan end up secluded in a mansion in Beirut, Lebanon? You can watch the documentary on Netflix. He actually had himself smuggled out of Japan, where he was facing corruption charges for his time at Nissan, by the Yakuza in a grand piano case to his mansion in Lebanon. Well, it's not going all that well for Carlos Schoen, and even though Nissan did better when he was running them, they're actually looking to evict Carlos out of his mansion in Beirut, and he faces a lot of criminal charges in Japan, especially hiring the Yakuza to ship him out of Japan in a piano box. It may not be going all that well for Carlos.
Well, thanks for everybody listening to us today. And then we are also, one more thought is we are also on TV. So you can watch us. We are top 15 out of every channel or every state, every program on this channel. Shop
Plus TV.
Shop Plus TV. That's it.
Yeah. Not QVC, not HSN, but
Shop Plus TV. We're on. Okay. Well, we'll see you on the next episode, everybody. Peace.
See ya.